Okay, so if we are looking at analyzing the graphs of functions, one thing that you want to understand is how to test for a function. And the main way to test for a function, at least graphically, is going to be called the vertical line test. The way that that is going to be is you're going to take a look at a function. So let's just draw one here. So let's draw the function for cosine. So pretty close. Now, the vertical line test says that if I can draw a line through any part of my graph, and it actually, a vertical line, and it touches two places on the function, or two places on the graph, then it is not a function. So you can see anywhere I draw a vertical line here, period, all I can do is touch one place. So this is actually, this is a function. This works very well. And why it's very useful to us. Now, let's say if we look at a different function, let's say kind of like a sleeping parabola, what you can see is that there's actually a ton of places where I can find that touch two places on my graph. Now, that means, in a sense, that for one x, so this given x, I have two different y values. So that's not what we want out of a function. For a function, we want one output per input. So what you'll see with a lot of times with you won't see sleeping parabolas a lot. What you see is the positive or negative versions of half of them. So you'll see something like square root of x that only has, one place, as opposed to, the positive and negative square root of x, which would be have two. So we've talked about this before, but the main concept of the vertical line test is that you can't be able to draw a line anywhere that touches your function twice, and for it to also be a function. Now, as far as zeros go, zeros are going to occur, for any x value where f of x equals 0. So these are different than intercepts in that it can be any number. These could also be imaginary. They'd be imaginary zeros. But if they are real numbers, then they are going to be intercepts. So, for example, say this is, we have y equals x squared minus 1, and y equals x squared plus 1, our zeros are very different. Our zeros, our zeros for this, for y equals x squared plus 1, are going to be plus and minus I. But we don't have any intercepts, because it doesn't actually intercept the x-axis at all. You can see it does not touch. So it's not an intercept, but it does have zeros. Both these values will make our equation work. Now over here, we end up with zeros as plus and minus 1, and our intercepts are also the same. But you can see that intercepts, or zeros, are only intercepts if they are real numbers. So that's another thing to keep in mind.